Welcome back to Bravo Breaking News. I am your host, Kim, and it is time for another episode of Unpopular Opinions, my weekly show where I break down all of the top Bravo news and moments of the week, and of course, give my opinions on them all.
That's my opinion!
We've got a lot of fun stories to cover, and guys, I also gotta recap Love Island USA. If you are not watching, head over to Peacock right now and binge all 22 episodes because my God, is this season absolutely delivering. I mean, I'm sure you guys have seen the memes all over the internet. Mommy Mamacita has totally gone viral. Nicolandria, I gotta talk about Nicolandria. I know some of you don't watch Love Island, but if you are here watching this video and you love Bravo and you love reality shows, you are absolutely going to be obsessed with this show. So please catch up. I will save my recap until the end, just in case you don't watch it. But we've got a lot of other fun news to cover this week as well. So I'm going to go ahead and dive in. But before I do, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any Bravo breaking news. I gotta say it, the toxic men of Bravo are definitely making headlines this week, some more toxic than others. No, I will not be talking about Jax Taylor, but there are definitely some others that are making news, making headlines. I want to get your thoughts on it, and I also have some unpopular opinions to share. So first story this week, I don't know if you guys saw, but Craig Conover did co-host the Toast podcast this week. Yes, in case you guys missed it, go take a listen. It was actually a pretty good episode. Craig did talk about the breakup with Paige quite a bit. I know we are all so over that. Even me, who, as you guys know, was obsessed with every single detail, receipts, proof, timeline, screenshots about this breakup. I am even over it at this point, but it was a great episode nonetheless. He talks kind of, about how things went down afterwards, how the filming of the shows went down, the reunions, all of that. So go tune in. But there are a few little tidbits that I am going to share with you now. The first of which, Craig is using this platform to finally put to rest the ring rumors. Now, this was a big deal on the end of Southern Charm and Summer House because Craig said that Paige had told him to buy a ring and he did it. Months later, Paige then came out and said, there is no ring. He never bought a ring. I never asked for a ring. I don't think that there is a ring, and I basically think he is lying about it. We all know that Craig does have a history of lying. I mean, every cast member on his own show has accused him of it. Paige accused him of it. I mean, we all know that they all lied about him getting kicked out of Kyle and Amanda's wedding. So can we really trust anything that comes out of this man's mouth? Well, he actually showed photo proof of the engagement ring on the podcast. And not only that, I guess the photo was in context. It was on his nightstand at his house. Even Jackie, the co-host, checked the geotag, location, etc. It was tagged in Charleston, in his neighborhood of Mount Pleasant. Timestamped on March 11th. There was a date and a time. So she definitely checked all of the details to make sure this is legit. However, the internet is still not buying it because no one thinks this is true. Everyone thinks that this is just a screenshot or a stock photo that he took. A lot of people are calling out that the timeline actually didn't add up because I guess he went to see the jeweler sometime in March in New York, and this photo taken in Charleston was technically on March 11th. I don't really know. I stopped following the timeline, guys, to be honest, because it was too much to keep up with. But I just have one question. After all of this, after everything that has went down, after kind of the dust has settled and they've both moved on, why would he make this up now? Why not just ignore it? I guess Jackie did ask him the question point blank. Was there ever a ring? So what was he going to say? No, I lied about it. No. Did he maybe come prepared with these photos, like set and ready to go? I don't know, guys. I think that's pushing it. And I know I'm going to get a lot of shit for this. This is an unpopular opinion. I don't think he's lying about this. I think that the ring is true. I think he actually had a ring. I think the picture that he was showing Jackie was legitimate. And I would really hope that somebody like Craig wouldn't go to this length to prove a lie. Now, I don't know. He's known to be kind of a master liar and manipulator. So maybe he would go to lengths like these. I don't know. All I know is that if this jeweler in New York somewhere is listening or out there or knows somebody who knows somebody who knows somebody, please ask this guy, get in touch with him. Apparently, Craig returned the ring to him and it's some sort of consignment situation. So Craig does not get the money back from the ring unless this guy sells it again. Again, people were also questioning whether he actually sold the ring because he said he sold it that morning that he was on Watch What Happens Live. But that episode of Watch What Happens Live was the one where his girlfriend, or the person he was dating at the time, Natalie Buffett, was actually in the audience. So people were like, why would he go return the ring if he was visiting New York with his new girlfriend? I don't know, guys. It's not really adding up, but at this point, I really don't know if he would go to these lengths to lie. Maybe he would. Let me know what you guys think. Another funny moment from this interview actually explains a lot, and it is that Craig shared that his therapist is none other than ChatGPT. And he was not joking, he was dead serious. He says he also has a real therapist, but he uses ChatGPT as his therapist. He will ask it how to deal with stuff, ask it for advice, and not only going through the breakup afterwards, but during his relationship with Paige. He would ask it questions and he would ask it advice on how to handle certain situations in their relationship. Well, I think that explains why Paige broke up with him, because he was taking advice from ChatGPT. An AI bot was giving him relationship advice on how to navigate the trials and tribulations of his relationship. If you found out that your husband or boyfriend was taking advice from an AI bot in order to progress and help your relationship, I'm sorry, that's a red flag for me. It's completely laughable. And now it all makes sense. It's like the light bulb went off. Like Craig seemed to think that this was a totally normal thing to do. I don't know. I'm sorry, but this is not normal in any way, shape, or form. Is this the new normal with AI? Maybe. I don't know. Is Craig ahead of his time? I don't know, but at that moment is when it really clicked for me. This is why the relationship did not work out. Speaking of relationships, there is another Bravo relationship rumor that I gotta get your thoughts on, and that is Vanderpump Rules star, or former Vanderpump Rules stars, Lala Kent and Tom Schwartz. Yes. Have you guys seen this rumor floating around on the internet? I feel like it's been going around for a little while, but a new blind just came out that, I don't know, guys, it might have legs. So the speculation started with a few Instagram stories, as it always does. After appearing on her Give Them Lala podcast, where the duo gushed about one another, a source came clean about their relationship. The insider shared via Bravo and Cocktails, they are actually together. I see them all the time at the bistro I work at, and he's always picking up the bill. They just need to come out and be honest. It looks like Lala and Schwartz haven't exactly been trying to keep their love connection a secret. Earlier this week, Lala appeared on the virtual reality where she admitted to having a soft spot for Tom. She told fans that if push came to shove, she would choose Tom to help father her children. I got asked what Vanderpump cast member I would choose as my baby daddy or my sperm donor, and I said you. I don't feel like you'd give me a hard time. Tom agreed, adding, I'm so easy. We don't see each other a ton, but I consider you one of my best friends. Things got even weirder when Lala claimed, I have a very soft spot in my heart for you. Okay, are you ready for my unpopular opinion? Because I don't know, guys, I kind of ship this. Maybe I'm crazy. I know a lot of you think that Lala would absolutely tear him apart, but maybe this makes sense. I don't know. They've definitely had kind of a strong friendship the last few seasons of Vanderpump Rules. And if you think about it, they are the only two in that group that do not have any history with each other. Even though in that interview, Tom said, oh, we don't spend a lot of time together. So that doesn't really make sense with the blind that says they're spotted together eating lunch all the time. But there is a very good reason that Tom Schwartz could be keeping this on the down low, and that is Katie Maloney. Now, I am not saying that Katie gives a shit what Tom Schwartz does. She is in a new relationship. She is happy. She doesn't care. But they do still co-parent their two dogs together. So they see each other quite frequently. And I think they have a decent relationship, a decent friendship at this point. And if Schwartz started to date Lala, I have a feeling that that would actually affect it pretty badly, seeing as Katie and Lala did not end things well on that last reunion. So, this could be a reason why Schwartz wants to keep it a secret, keep it on the down low. But I don't know. I feel like they could be good for each other. A lot of people think that it is just a ploy for both of them to actually get full time on the Valley, since they're both kind of like friend ofs, like not even at this point. They just show up randomly at parties. But in reality, they're both pretty much unemployed at this point and definitely need some money to afford their lifestyle still. I don't know. I know a lot of people do not want Lala to return to the Valley. I haven't minded Schwartz on the Valley, though now that he's living literally next door to Jax Taylor, I think he's just going to be another enabler for another toxic man on this show. I said it a few weeks ago. I think Schwartz should just move to New York and be on Summer House. But if he's going to stay in LA and try to stay in the spotlight, I don't know. Why not date one of your ex reality star colleagues and try to get on the spinoff? I don't know, guys. I don't know how I feel about this. I kind of ship it, but I can see the problems too. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. Speaking of Vanderpump Rules, we got Tom Sandoval back on our television screens this week, and it is probably in the way that I never saw coming. I'm sure everybody saw Tom Sandoval's audition for America's Got Talent. This is a new low for Tom Sandoval. Like, I gotta give credit where credit is due, though. He is certainly making the reality show circuit. I mean, he is going from show to show to show. He did Special Forces, he did Traitors. He's gonna be on next season of House of Villains. Now he's on America's Got Talent. He is definitely staying in the spotlight, but I'm not sure he's in on the joke, because the reason why all of these reality shows are actually casting him is to laugh at him, not with him. He is definitely coming on these shows just to be made fun of. And I'm not sure that he's like in on that or in on the joke, but producers know what they're doing by bringing him onto these shows. And his audition for America's Got Talent was no exception, because it was just funny to watch. I mean, I got to admit, his band is excellent. But seeing Tom Sandoval on that stage, guys, I don't know. It gives me the ick. It gives me the ick so bad. Like I can barely watch it. Though I did have to say, when I was watching it, did he hit that high note at the end? I mean, the audition, yes, it gave me the ick. But were the vocals as bad as I expected? Actually not. So we got the audition right, but we were waiting on the judges' reaction. We did not know how the panel was going to react. And when we got it, guys, like, what are these people thinking? First of all, we have Howie Mandel, who we all know is friends with Tom Sandoval because he chose Sandoval, or Sandoval chose him, to be the first interview after Scandoval. Like, that viral interview will go down in history as probably one of the stupidest PR moves known to mankind. Howie knew nothing about Scandoval, nothing about Vanderpump Rules, nothing about Bravo. It was the stupidest thing in the world. Yet, that's where Sandoval chose to go. But anyway, I digress. But he actually calls Tom Sandoval a showman. Then we have Mel B from the Spice Girls saying that she had fun, she loves cover bands, inviting him to perform at her wedding. Sofia Vergara also loved it. And then came Simon Cowell. Now, the Simon Cowell that I know is ruthless. He will rip you to shreds. I watched American Idol for many seasons when it first came out, and that's what we loved about Simon Cowell, was that he told it like it was. Has Simon gotten soft over the years? Because he said, while the vocals weren't great, Tom, ... Not everyone comes on this show to get a record deal. Sometimes it's about being true to who you are. Since when is it about that, Simon? I don't know. I don't watch America's Got Talent. I only watched this. And in what world would Simon Cowell say that to Tom Sandoval? Like, I don't think that this is real. At that moment was when I knew this was all a scam. And then A headline came out that pretty much proved that it was. According to The Sun, Tom Sandoval got special treatment for AGT Audition, including backing vocals, as execs knew he would boost ratings. Sandoval did sing live, but he also sang over a backing track, which helped him with his vocals, the source claimed. It's not a custom for AGT singers to get a backtrack. Typically, they sing completely live. It's not unheard of, but not typical. Sandoval wasn't coming into this audition as a vocalist, but as a performer. The source also claimed Tom scored his audition through his connections to NBC, the parent company of Bravo, and his friendship with Judge Howie Mandel after appearing on his podcast in 2023. He didn't have a typical audition process, the source confessed. He did get a little bit of special treatment from NBC. They've known him for years. He's become buds with Howie. The powers that be worked their magic to make this happen for Tom. He didn't go the typical producer route. The show knew it'd be good for ratings, and Tom, at the very least, would put on a show so both sides were ecstatic about it and they think it went great. A source denied Tom had any special treatment in the audition process. A representative for AGT told the US Sun, AGT is an even playing field. Every act that is seen on our stage is allowed to use backing tracks to support their performance, should they choose. Despite his alleged special treatment, the source insisted Tom and his band are serious about going all the way in the competition this season. Tom and his band absolutely are serious about auditioning and using this as a platform to further their careers, the source continued. They would love a Vegas show. They knock the roof off of the house at whatever venue they play at, so they're serious about taking it all the way. However, since at-home viewers vote later in the season, Tom's connections can only take him so far. But the next time they perform, it will be up to America's vote, the source said. So he'll have to hope the public has forgiven him enough if he even wants to move on one more round. I'm sorry, I just have to laugh. There's a lot to break down in that article, but the fact that Tom Sandoval thinks he's getting a Las Vegas residency, excuse me? Okay, even Erica Jane couldn't do that. Sell tickets for what, $5 or $7, whatever they were. And Sandoval thinks that this is going to get his band a Las Vegas residency. I mean, the delusion of this man. So I don't doubt that he definitely had connections and pull from the network to get him on this show. And I definitely think it pulled in ratings. Hey, we're talking about America's Got Talent, and I would never be talking about that show otherwise. So it definitely did work. But the article is right. As soon as the voting is in America's hands, sorry, I don't think it's going to last. I don't even know who he is performing against, who his competition is. But either way, no matter who it is, they're going to be better than Tom Sandoval, right? I don't know. This is just fun, funny. I kind of love it. I kind of love seeing Tom Sandoval and getting to still make fun of him to this day. So part of me kind of wants him to stay on our screens, but only in the capacity where we can all be laughing at him. Okay, now enough with the toxic Bravo men. Let's jump over to Real Housewives. And I gotta say, there might be some toxic housewives too, because I just want to talk about the Gertie versus Julia situation on Miami for a second. So they have this whole feud going down about a literal cruise that they took together. And for some reason, Captain Sandy is in the middle of it all. Like, make it make sense. There are so many problems with this situation. First of all, so Julia says that her and Martina had this cruise booked, but Martina had a medical emergency, so could not make it on the cruise. Julia, why are you now going on the cruise if your wife just had a medical emergency? Second of all, she's saying that Gertie basically invited herself. And I guarantee that's not what happened. Obviously, Julia called her and said that Martina could not go. And Gertie probably offered to go with her to have fun. You know, Gertie said that she had just gotten back from a cruise. So she pretty much picked up her bags and just left immediately again. I doubt this was Gertie's first choice, but she was just trying to be a friend. Gertie also points out that while Martina was getting chemo, Julia went to New York to get a facelift. I'm sorry, but I could not be more team Gertie if I tried. This situation is absolutely ridiculous to begin with. First, they're fighting over the stupid Zoom call that Gertie couldn't get into, Julia didn't let her into, and then Julia didn't tell her pretty much the biggest news that's happened in her life. Now they're fighting over this cruise ship BS, and Julia says that Gertie was just there to take pictures and stuff like that. Look, here's the deal. These are reality stars that have to keep up their social media profiles. If Gertie is on vacation or on a cruise, she's going to be posting pictures. She's going to be, posting about it and all of this stuff. I just don't think that Julia is that into the social media scene as much as Gertie. So I think it's really as simple as that. I also think, I don't know what kind of cruise this was, but Julia was on a totally separate track and itinerary than Gertie. So of course Gertie was a little butthurt that she didn't get to join Julia during everything that she did. I mean, that's a little ridiculous if you ask me. But Julia doesn't think it's ridiculous at all. In fact, she chooses to throw a drink in Gertie's face. Like, come on, I don't know. It's giving desperate. It's giving thirsty. It's giving you're trying to save your position on this show by creating drama out of stupid shit. That is one of my pet peeves on Housewives. When people take something so small, the smallest issue, a text message, and then blow it up into a multi-episode storyline. Taylor Armstrong, enough of this. I'm over it. We are only 3 episodes into Miami, and I'm done with Julia. I'm over it. Get her off the show. I'm sure there will be more to come on that this week, so stay tuned for my opinion next week. Now moving on to some exciting Real Housewives news. Guys, there is a chance that we might actually be getting Ultimate Girls Trip Morocco. Yes, the one that was actually put on hold because of the Caroline Manzo lawsuit. Because this week, we are getting an alleged anonymous tip that the lawsuit might be ending and we might actually be getting the episodes. According to TV Secrets Revealed on Twitter, they posted several posts. Okay, the first of which says, Real Housewives Ultimate Girls Trip Morocco is actually already complete. It is 7 episodes. In court, some of the descriptions came out. The unedited footage and the edited episodes were both willingly handed over and used as proof to get Manzo's lie suit thrown out. They are basically ready to go once it's over. According to the episode breakdown, the entire cast grills Manzo's ass and she departed Morocco early despite getting paid in full, which she did not deserve. Because she was outraged, the entire cast went to Brandy's hotel to check on her after Caroline had her banished. NBC, Bravo, and Shed Media are in court right now, elegantly exposing the F out of liar Caroline Manzo, her BS lawsuit, fighting to dismiss the suit, no payment, and air Real Housewives Ultimate Girls Trip Morocco. And then she says something bad about Melissa Gorga, which I feel is unnecessary. Caroline Manzo actually filmed confessionals for the show from March through August. Conveniently, she decided to sue way after the fact, alleging tons of lies right around the same time they started to be behind 6 figures in taxes on the brownstone. Okay, so to be fair, this Twitter account isn't really coming off as legitimate, but I did hear from a reliable source, the Bravo docket, that they are moving to dismiss Caroline Manzo's lawsuit. And I bet they have the episodes edited and ready to go. I mean, especially if Caroline had already been filming confessionals. I don't really think they start filming confessionals until the editing has been in progress. They got to know what storylines they're going to be talking about. And I think if they actually get this lawsuit dismissed, I think there's a good chance that we might actually get this Ultimate Girls Trip that we have been waiting on for years. I mean, the return of Alex McCord, Vicky Gunvalson, Gretchen, Phaedra. I mean, the cast was phenomenal. I was so excited when this was announced. Unfortunately, we didn't get to see it because of all the Brandy Caroline stuff. Now, I know Caroline's lawsuit is going to be dismissed against Brandy, but Brandy has her own issues with Bravo. So how is that going to work out? I know she is thirsty for money, so they can probably pay her whatever she is asking for in order to release these episodes. But that does still raise questions about whether or not this is actually true. Either way, I'm just excited that there's a chance. Okay, that's it for Bravo news, but I cannot end this episode without talking about Love Island USA because this week, guys, was Casa Amor. And Casa is when all the shit goes down. We had the guys and the girls split up and actually couple up with new Casa boys and girls, which was a first for the show. If you follow me on Instagram, you already know how I feel about all of this. But when Nick and Alandria were sent home, I was unwell. I was absolutely unwell. The internet has had this obsession with Nicolandria. Nicolandria has been trending, has been viral since the very beginning, even though they were not a couple and weren't really showing any interest in each other than the challenges. However, producers heard our call and made it happen. When Alandria turned that corner in that G-Wagon and opened the door, and her and Nick, just escaped off into the night. I mean, cinema, 10 out of 10 episode. I was so excited for it. Then we get the next episode, and they are given the option to either go home or return to the villa as a couple. I'm sorry, say it all you want, say it's produced. Of course, production put them onto this. Of course, it was all planned, but I loved every second of it, guys. It was the best episode. It was the best 24 hours with Nicolandria together. I mean, you cannot deny their chemistry. I know they were basically forced together by production, yes, but you can't deny what we saw in Soul Ties. That was real chemistry. That was a real connection. Only for the next morning for Alandria to wake up and be like, nah, I don't know. I think I see you as a friend. The way I was so upset hearing that was really disheartening to hear. But I think that Nick might have said something differently. I definitely think that Nick was more into it than Olandria. But also, it did make me happy because I do ship Nick and Sierra. They are my number one couple at this point. If the finale were tonight, I would be voting for them to win. But I did love Nicolandria. I loved their chemistry. I loved them together. I mean, him saying that she's the most beautiful woman he's ever seen in this lifetime. Like, can it get any realer than that? I think at the end of the day, Olandria was just stuck on Taylor. She really thought that they had a connection. And my only question is, why? Why are you so obsessed with this man who is giving you literal crumbs, breadcrumbs? He is giving you nothing. He has told multiple people that he is not attracted to you, not interested in you. He doesn't show it. You can call it a slow burn all you want, but you can tell that there is absolutely no chemistry between them. So why is Olandria so stuck on this man? And of course, we got the Casa recoupling and Taylor chose Clark. I mean, my heart broke for Olandria. But maybe it is the wake up call she needs because she needs something, anything to move on from this man. However, even if at this point they were to bring in a new bombshell for her, it's too late. She said that she's a slow burner. I don't think that she's going to form a connection with anybody else that quickly. I mean, we are just a few weeks from the finale at this point. But the Islanders did choose to save her at the end of the day. And who was advocating for her? Nick. Nick was advocating for her. So I don't know. Maybe I'm delusional. I'm kind of still shipping Nicolandria, guys. I think there might still be a chance. We also have Ace and Shelly back together. Now, I'm sure you guys have seen the rumors that they are actually scamming the show. They were in a relationship before the show. There was another rumor that they were married and actually had a baby together. Never believed that, but we do know that they knew each other prior to going into the villa. And I think there were definitely some feelings there. So I don't know. I mean, do we actually think that this is legitimate, that they never had a connection before, and that he shows up in the villa, didn't know she was going to be there, and this is all completely organic? Like, I don't know if I would say that. I do think that they're kind of cute together. However, I will never vote for Ace because Ace is the villain of the season. I don't like him. I don't like how he thinks he can control everything in the villa. He is definitely the reason Jeremiah went home. He controls those men like his puppets. Taylor and Nick, like them or dislike them, they are for some reason under Ace's spell. I don't get it. I don't understand why they're listening to this little man and why he has so much power over everything that happens in that villa. I don't know. If he wins, I'm going to be very upset. At this point, guys, I don't know. There's really not that many strong connections besides Ace and Shelly and Nick and Sierra. And tonight, I'm recording this on Sunday, seems like Sierra is going to find out about Nick and Alandria. So will that affect how they move forward as a couple? I don't know, but all I know is that I am sat. I am seated A lot of people are saying they don't like this season of Love Island. I am obsessed with it. It is so good. I cannot wait to turn it on every night. And I'm going to be so sad when it's over. But when it's over, we have Beyond the Villa premiering the spinoff with the season 6 contestants. So I will also be sad for that. Well, that's it for this week. Kind of a longer episode. There was a lot to discuss. As always, drop your unpopular or popular opinions in the comments below. Let me know if you agree with mine and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any more Bravo breaking news. We'll see you next time.